and I think you would kind of understand.
What is that?
Today, they were able to change the gender marker. So even my birth certificate says Caitlyn Marie Jenner, sex female.
You're literally born biologically male, but your birth certificate has been changed to say sex female. So it's like at a certain point, how do you even know who's born male or born female?
I can't use my passport.
I'm sorry, that's just not true. Caitlyn Jenner is also one of the most famous trans people in the world.
People know you're
doing that
trans.
anyway.
The minute you walk into an airport,
What do you think? You're
people know who you are.
stealthing into Saudi Arabia? Like the... Hey guys, welcome back to Normal Gays, where we take on insanity. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson Lawson and
What's
our
up,
new
guys?
set.
Subscribe to the channel because we just dropped hella Skrilla on this mother studio.
Skrilla.
Money.
According to
Skrilla?
who? Skrilla?
You never heard Skrilla?
No.
Hella Skrilla.
What a weird person you are. Anyway, thoughts on...
We just dropped hella Skrilla.
Oh my God.
Like, bro, give us your money. Now. Okay. Go ahead. What are we talking about?
Well, I was going to talk about Caitlyn Jenner, but now I have other questions.
Oh. No, I'm not going to make a joke about Caitlyn Jenner's past already.
Yeah, save it. Save the ammunition. So Caitlyn Jenner just did an interview with Tomi Lahren. You know Tomi Lahren, the Fox News?
I've been on her show.
Oh, yeah, that's your queen.
Yeah, it's my queen. She ambushed me.
Wait, actually?
No, not really. I mean, like, I was on her show when I first was like an independent and I was leaning towards voting for Trump. And then she invited me on the show after the election and like I didn't vote for Trump. So then she didn't know I didn't vote for Trump. So we had all these talking points and they sent them to my email. So I was prepared on all these talking points. And then we get on the show and she asked me about how I voted. And then it just turned into like a whole debate. But I mean, granted, her team did ask, like, is there anything that's changed like since we last saw you? I was like, yeah, I mean, I've shifted a little bit more left, but like,
yeah, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with
like
that.
The most
but we just like, they
about.
sent me the topics and
yeah,
then
and then they ended up doing that.
Which,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's fine because that just
probably
means it's more
interesting.
organic, I guess. And I'm not afraid to debate it, but that's what I pin on my profile because it's like,
yeah. I have seen that clip. Yeah. So anyway, Caitlyn Jenner is friends with Tomi Lahren.
Tommy's actually really sweet.
Yeah, sure, she's a nice person.
Yeah.
I just disagree with her on some stuff. But Caitlyn Jenner went on there and like complained because Caitlyn's passport got sent back as mail from the Trump administration because they changed that policy, which we've talked about this in the past. I agree with. I think you are biologically male. And if it lists your sex, like, sorry, it is what it is.
I guess, I mean, I agree with that being the truth. I think that there can be exceptions.
I don't think you should be able to list incorrect information.
I don't think the damage of doing that was so harmful that it warranted changing it back.
I think it's largely a symbolic measure, but there's some important reasons to do it as well. Like, for example, in the places where there are harmful policies that we've talked about, like California, where they're like putting people in prisons.
There's a slippery slope.
But the problem is what I'm saying is allowing people to change the documents. It's like at a certain point, it's going to be hard to even prove because people have changed their birth certificates to say that their sex is their identity.
There has we've already had this conversation. Like, what's the word? I don't know. There has to be a certain way to like identify that it was changed for that person, and maybe like a TM or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I don't think that we have to just choose. You've got to be male, you've got to be female on your passport and just
I think an interesting question is why it even needs to be listed on the passport. Like what?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not familiar
maybe you could
on
just
like
eliminate,
travel stuff. And
maybe you could just eliminate that. But regardless, Caitlyn Jenner is now very upset that she had her thing sent back as mail.
Yeah.
And it's like, this must be a mistake. And I filled out the form and it's like, because Caitlyn was a Trump supporter and Trump wasn't shy that he was going to go back to two genders, biological male, biological female. And Caitlyn was like, rah, rah, Trump. And so now
Yeah, but Trump didn't campaign on this type.
Now, if you read any of his policies about it, he absolutely made it clear they were going to only have
Like
two genders,
passports?
male and female, on all documents. Absolutely. And Caitlyn's literally a professional political analyst.
I mean, if he had a bunch of shit about gay people and his comments about gay people, I'm like, we're on that because we're gay. So like, it's our job to be informed.
He didn't really.
He didn't know. I mean, he actually got the anti-gay marriage thing taken out of the RNC's platform. But I mean, if I was Caitlyn,
I would have been a little up on that.
This was my niche to talk about specifically in politics. You might want to read Trump's policies.
And all right, let's just watch this clip because it's remarkable.
Okay.
Actually, there's one thing I could talk about right now that I haven't mentioned to anybody. And I think you would kind of understand.
What is that?
Today, documentation is extremely important. You know, you're going to have to show, hopefully the Save America Act goes through. You're going to have to show ID. Every time you turn around, you got to show ID. So somebody in my position who has transitioned, I worked very, very hard. I worked with a law firm to make sure everything was changed from M to F. Right down to my birth certificate. I was born in Mount Kisco, New York. This wonderful lady there, I got to know her quite well. They were able to change the gender marker. So even my birth certificate says Caitlyn Marie Jenner, sex, female.
I'll just pause on, like, that's kind of the problem I have with, like, you're literally born biologically male, but your birth certificate has been changed to say sex, female. So it's like at a certain point, how do you even know who's born male or born female? But we haven't gotten to the part.
I can't do this. Caitlyn talks way too slow.
Lock in.
I can't. Caitlyn needs to, like, take an Adderall.
I should have just put it on double speed.
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
All my documentation was right. My passport, my global entry. I traveled around the world. I don't know if you remember last year I got stuck in Tel Aviv when they started bombing. And I was there 4 days where I could hear the bombs going off and stuff. But I got out of there, went to the Israel-Jordanian border, got through both of those, no problem. Gender marker F, not a big deal. And went into Amman, Jordan, and then got out the next day. I love President Trump. And I think he signed this executive order.
Wait.
I don't know who underneath him was putting this thing together. That all federal documents, okay, it has to be your biological sex at birth. Okay? Recently, I had my passport. I had to get it renewed. I sent it back. Comes back gender marker M. Screws everything up. So there's a form in there. If they made a mistake, you can correct it. So I fill out all the proper forms. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not calling the president. You know, I got his personal cell number. I'm not calling anybody. I'm going to see if I can fix this myself. Because it's not just about me. It's about all people in this situation. You know? So I even sent a hard copy of my birth certificate. Caitlyn Marie Jenner, gender, sex, female. I did everything. And they sent it back M. They didn't change it at all.
Okay, but like,
why are you trying to circumvent
actual federal policies?
Yeah, like you know that
you
it's the
voted
law
for
now.
It's just
my issue.
It must have been a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, bitch.
The thing is like I don't agree that trans people just because it's symbolic should have their passport showing male when that's just I don't think that that's necessary. I think we can figure out a better solution for it, and I don't know it yet. However, what pisses me off is whenever Trump supporters or people in the Trump circles want to criticize the policy, they have to glaze him. They're like even Riley Gaines did this when Trump literally said that he doesn't even like her. They're like, well, I still love the president. I still love President Trump. It's like
they do the thing where it's like,
what do you think? What are they doing? Like, it's embarrassing.
They do the thing too where it's like, oh, it's always his advisors.
Oh yeah, it's
getting
never
bad
him.
Advice.
I don't know who's under him, but it's like, okay, so you elected somebody who is that influenced by his advisors.
As any president, the buck stops with you. Like, you're responsible for the people and what they decide to do. So the fact that, it was his underlings, well, okay, you should still hold him accountable for it. They would never apply that logic to like Biden and the border crisis.
No, they blame.
It was really Alejandro Mayorkas. It's just the people under him. Like, no,
they blame inflation on Biden when Biden's not the one who creates the budget. The House is. So like they're
Well, he did sign
signs it.
legislation. He signed bills like the American Rescue
they
Plan
signed
Act
the bills.
that they can veto.
I guess, but like I
mean,
don't know.
he had policies that contributed to it, but it wasn't all his fault.
To inflation.
Yeah, absolutely. American Rescue Plan.
How did that contribute to
Added
inflation?
an
Just
extra
spending?
$2 trillion
Sure.
of extra unfunded
Do you think?
spending.
Yeah. I mean, I know how much he added to the deficit, but do you think that Trump had more of an effect on inflation than Biden did, given his COVID spending?
It's hard to say because a lot of it was also Federal Reserve. A lot of it was Fed policies.
Yeah.
That caused the inflation. But Trump passed the CARES Act, the huge original spending bill.
Yes.
And I think that probably contributed a lot to the inflation, but it was also a little more defensible.
He spent an enormous amount of money during peak COVID.
That was also at like peak COVID,
yeah.
March 2020, whereas the American Rescue Plan was like several full years later when employment had already almost fully recovered. And then they poured
more money. I remember that. Yeah.
That was part of why I had a problem with that.
Sure.
But back to Miss Caitlyn. The thing about this that pisses me off is the audacity to be like, listen, if you're trans and you want to support a politician who's like running on changing all your stuff, okay, I guess. But it's like then to act like you've somehow been wronged or like, this isn't what I thought I was getting. It's like, what do you mean? Yes, it is.
I hate using this analogy because people use it so inappropriately, like the leopards ate your face. They use it all the time when it comes to like gay conservatives, when conservatives or like people on the right start going after gays. And then they're like, well, we told you so. We told you they hated you. And they always use that saying. And I'm not saying that this is the case, but like specifically with trans stuff, MAGA was pretty clear.
They weren't ambiguous.
No, like with gay stuff, they
were ambiguous
because they know it's unpopular. But the trans stuff was a central point to the campaign.
They very much.
So I just don't.
So how could you then act surprised they changed my passport back?
I feel bad because
I don't feel bad at all for Caitlyn.
No, I don't feel. I don't feel bad in this circumstance, but I feel like Caitlyn just really wants she just wants to have a normal life, like she did as Bruce, and she's trying so hard to just be like, "Come on, guys, just like accept me. I'm normal. I'm cool. I'm this. I'm that." And it's like, at some point, you just have to reconcile with the fact that they're not going to buy it.
But also what bothers me is that Caitlyn seems to feel to some extent that she's like entitled to special treatment because I'm friends with the president. I didn't want to have to call him directly. I didn't want to have to get a letter to his. Well, maybe we should watch the rest and you'll see.
Well, she didn't call him, did she? She did.
We're getting there. She did try to contact him directly.
She called. She asked for the manager.
But here.
So now I'm in a position, Tomi, that what do I do?
Right.
This is a safety factor, okay? I can't travel internationally anymore, okay? I can't use my passport.
I'm sorry, that's just not true. That is not correct. You can absolutely still fly to England and show them your passport. And it's mail.
I wouldn't travel to like third world countries like holes.
But Caitlyn Jenner is also one of the most famous trans people in the world.
People know you're trans.
Anyway.
The minute you walk into an airport,
what do you think? You're stealthing into Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Caitlyn's going to like. Where is Caitlyn traveling that she can't go to? Like Europe would.
Caitlyn's saying I can't go anywhere because my passport lists my biological sex.
Yeah, it's a little dramatic.
That's like just objectively not true.
It's a little dramatic.
There are probably some countries where you can't go and you look female, but your passport says male.
Or that you shouldn't because there's a heavy stigma towards it.
But then you shouldn't be going there anyway as somebody who's famous for being trans.
Correct.
This bitch makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I can use global entry. It says F. I can do this. I can travel in the United States. License, driver's license, pilot's license, everything, gender marker F. So it really creates a big problem.
Did she just say pilot's
license? And I'm trying to figure out at this point what to do.
Yeah, she has her pilot's license.
But didn't this bitch like kill someone in a car accident? You should probably lose your, allegedly, but like.
Yeah.
You should probably lose your pilot's license after that.
Yeah. I don't know much about that accident.
But I know the South Park meme of it.
I didn't see that either.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh.
I don't blame President Trump. I love him. But for a lot of people, this is a huge issue,
Mm-hmm.
I know
And
Tomi is so
so
like.
that's kind
to
of
the
where
point.
I'm at right now. I have not talked to the president. I was in Mar-a-Lago 2 months ago, wrote a letter explaining all of this to him, how it's affecting me and a lot of other people. And unfortunately, he wasn't there that weekend. Actually, the Secret Service guy said he could get it to him, put it on his desk and stuff. I haven't heard from him. He's kind of busy right
I'll try
now.
his number.
My gender marker is not big on the issue. Okay, so I get that, and I'm not blaming him whatsoever. I love the guy, and I love what he's doing. But I'm trying to figure out now what is the next step to try to figure this out. Because as we know, even to vote now, you have to have proper identification, and I don't have that.
But
No, you do.
But the thing is like you can still vote as with him
Also,
on there.
As if California, I don't know if she still lives in California, but if she does, they do not have voter ID.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can still do all of this as male.
And with your driver's license that still says female as well.
Yeah.
It's like the melodrama.
I still love Trump.
I don't blame. It's okay if you still like Trump because you're saying, well, on net, I still support him, even though I don't like this one thing. That I can understand. What bothers me is this, like, I don't blame him for this policy he signed via executive order.
It's just
What?
they're so scared of getting on Trump's bad side
And getting angry tweets.
and getting the MAGA.
Also, that tweet
people
would be
angry at
so
them.
anti. It would be Caitlyn Jenner, who I thought was much more handsome as Bruce. Yeah, like that tweet would eat Caitlyn
Yeah.
up.
I'm surprised he hasn't addressed this.
You know what? Because
It's just not.
Caitlyn can't get on Fox News to talk about it. That's the funniest thing about this
Really?
whole story. At one point they signed Caitlyn as a Fox News contributor and then like put her on her air like twice ever.
I remember she was on Fox and Friends, I think.
But what I'm saying is like Caitlyn's on Tommy's podcast to talk about this. The best way to get through to Trump about it would be to get on like Hannity or something. He'll be watching.
5, yeah.
Yeah, and be like, Mr. President, please. And then he put out a tweet and he'll be like, I've directed my people to make sure that Caitlyn gets a.
But can you imagine if he reversed this policy? I could see him reversing it because he thinks that it would
But
be
then
like popular.
but
then they would go
conservatives would
crazy.
freak out.
Yeah.
So
This would be like I think he would lose more supporters from this than he did from the war.
oh my god,
I'm not kidding. Which is so crazy, like the state of American politics.
that people care so much about this kind of thing.
Like somebody's passport.
It's ultimately mostly symbolic. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I do think it's important, and I think actually acknowledging biological reality and truth is not frivolous. It's not a frivolous issue, but obviously it pales in comparison to other stuff. And then what was the other thing I was going to say about this? Oh, I only saw this story because all the like left LGBT people are just clowning on Caitlyn.
Yeah. Of
And
course
they're
they
all
are.
doing the leopards ate my face thing.
Yeah, because you can't campaign for him and then be so naive to what you're campaigning for.
This wasn't
Like,
a secret. This was part of his policies.
What I hate the most is when people on the left say that about gay people, because even though a lot of people on the right like don't like gays, like we said, they were ambiguous about like how they really felt about gay people.
It only makes sense if you're saying it about a gay person who's actively supporting someone who's like anti-gay marriage.
Yeah.
But if you're a gay person who's right-wing politically and agrees with conservatives on XYZ thing,
Correct.
that doesn't make you a leopards eating.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. That doesn't make sense. That's like,
No.
unless you're actively. Now, that would make sense applied to a gay person who was supporting a Republican actively. Like in this case, the comparable example would be if you supported a Republican candidate who was anti-gay marriage, and then got upset when your marriage got canceled. Right? Like, but that's not who they're using that against. People who are supporting like.
No, because they can't, because nothing's blown back on gay people yet.
Well, there are certainly some Republicans candidates who are very explicitly
but I'm talking
anti-gay
like
marriage.
by law. It's just annoying because like when
They use it anytime you say anything that's not progressive.
Correct.
They're like, you can't have that opinion because you're the leopards will eat your face. And like,
yeah,
that's not. But it's also not never true. And there's cases like
no,
this.
it's not. And
Can I show you the cringiest post?
What?
The Human Rights Campaign, the like left trans activist org, they tweeted, "This is what happens when we stay silent until fascism affects us. Because fascism is when your biological sex is correctly listed on your passport."
I swear, America's the most theatric country.
Well, especially the gays.
Like that fascism?
You could disagree with it, but to call it fascist is
That's what I'm
so
saying. It's like, yeah, like
obnoxious.
I don't necessarily agree with the policy, but it's definitely not fascism.
And it's like, maybe now that we have some actual fascists, like maybe we shouldn't have just called everything fascist.
Yeah.
Like,
God, they haven't learned. Oh my God.
so they called everything racist for like 10 years. Now we have actual racists. Like,
On the right.
yeah, Nick Fuentes and all these people, they get away with it. They get away with it because these words and terms have just been watered down. So
I do think it's important now, though, specifically for gay people who are on the right, to be a lot more
vocal, yeah.
vocal and conscious, because the tides shift very quickly.
Mhm.
This is not the same right that
A lot of us
MAGA was in
joined.
2020.
No.
It is not at all. So I don't know. It's just frustrating because a lot of gay conservatives do this too on Twitter. Like they kind of do the same thing that Caitlyn's doing. They'll like turn a blind eye to like libs of TikTok or like the people who are attacking gay parents, and they'll just be like, oh, it's just a small fringe minority. It's like you were saying that 6 years ago, and it was back then, but it's not anymore.
Yeah, I think it's still probably not nearly as widespread in polling and in normal people as the online discourse.
But I think normal people, like just regular people, I don't think they're as politically charged when it comes to gay issues. So if something were to happen, because the fringe always gets power anyways, that's just how politics works. I don't think that they would. I think they would let it happen.
Well, sure, a lot of people are apathetic.
They would just rather live their lives in peace. So that's why it's like, yeah, we have popular opinion on our side, but popular opinion isn't always what dictates policy.
No, I agree.
So
That's why I
know.
agree with you. There's nothing hypocritical about being a gay Republican or a gay conservative if you're also still standing up for gay people and gay rights. But if
That's
you
like
just
kind of
become
your job.
you've become a doormat,
Yeah.
then that kind of is,
Right, like we need people on the right as
Absolutely.
representation, but like I saw a guy tweeting today. I think he called me. What did he say I looked like?
Oh, Preston Para, the
No,
twink.
it wasn't Preston. What did Preston say I looked like again? A
Here,
World
I
War,
texted it to you.
a gay World War II veteran. Is that what he said?
They need to lock you up for life. You look like the remains of some gay Allied World War II remains.
The remains of a gay
Yeah,
allied
that did not eat at all. That's not even a correct
needs
sentence.
to eat because he's a twink. Oh, I know what it was. Somebody responded back to one of our videos and said, it was a gay conservative account. These are not normal gays. These are gays who want attention. The real gays are he made his own comment. He made his own normal gays like hashtag, but it wasn't normal. He used a different word, like another synonym for normal. These are not normal gays. These are attention addicts. See, here's the thing about, and this is what he's calling his version of normal gays, everyday gays. Bitch, you thought you ate that? Everyday gays? And you just see what this guy looks like.
Oh,
He looks like an everyday guy. You don't notice us. We live amongst you. Pay our bills. Tend our gardens. Go grocery shopping and dine with friends, as if we don't.
yeah, we don't do any of those things.
We don't go.
I don't go grocery shopping.
I actually don't.
You order
order
DoorDash every
DoorDash.
day.
We don't need to prance and preen on camera, and it's like, bitch, of course you don't need to prance and preen on camera. Nobody wants to watch you prance and preen
also,
on camera,
like,
you nasty bitch.
That's not your job. You're not a content creator or
No, but the thing
influencer.
is the
Probably
funny
wanna
thing.
be.
He's an aspiring one.
Ugh.
He has. This is LGBT Patriots. 5,000 followers, followed by a lot of the gay like
Fine.
LGB accounts.
Don't be bitter and like
This is
insulting
his,
others.
but this is, I'm going to get to my point because it actually comes into what we were talking about. His bio is ban Islam, MAGA based. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. MAGA advocate for everyday gays. He's put it in his bio now. He's trying to coin our term. LGBT patriots, no rainbow pride poison, no trans queers. And he has a whole info at lgbtpatriots.org. Like he has created a whole thing. He's based out of Phoenix, but he's retweeting things from Allie Beth Stuckey, from what's that one girl trying to ban gay marriage? From Katie Voust. He's literally retweeting these saying like the gays deserve, like literally advocating against gay people. And it's like,
then you're not an
what's
everyday gay. That's actually the leopard's eating face meme.
yes, but it's like the thing is he's like
She's
he's
sad.
feeding his face to the
Sad.
leopards at that point. So you have to, but this is an old gay guy. So like how do you still, and I hate saying that when people hate themselves, but like there's no way you can have this amount of animosity towards being gay without having some unresolved trauma. I don't know. You bitch. And I don't feel bad for you because you want to try to steal normal gays. All right, bitch. You should be called
Everyday gays does not have a
everyday.
That, you did
know
not
what?
eat with that.
It sounds like it sounds actually no, it works for him by the way he looks. I should send that tweet or not. Sorry, Brandon, that tweet.
Yeah, bleep that name.
Yeah. My long tangent aside.
Anyway, Miss Caitlyn, did you know I tried to interview Caitlyn Jenner years ago?
I thought you did.
I never did. No, she strung me around for several months, and I was going to ask her about some pretty glaringly hypocritical things that Caitlyn has done.
Woman of the year.
Well, I don't know that one is so hypocritical. What I found hypocritical, and tell me what you think about this, is that Caitlyn Jenner went around the country, and I agree with Caitlyn on this, advocating against trans women and women's sports, but then was going and competing in golf tournaments in the women's division.
You know what? I don't think I like Caitlyn Jenner. I thought Caitlyn was just like an old bitch that wanted to go retire in Malibu.
So messy. Caitlyn, and setting aside the trans thing, Caitlyn Jenner is not a good person. No, there's so much lore there. There's so much tea. There's apparently some corpses involved. Like, I'm a little scared of Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, Caitlyn, if you're watching this, we love you.
We love you so much, Queen.
Please.
Sorry about that passport.
Yeah. Sorry about
anyway,
that
guys,
person you killed.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. And do become a channel member to unlock our weekly members-only videos. We have watched Lily Chino's OF. We have eaten.
You've got to stop.
No, every time.
That.
Every time.
We have to find something new. That was literally 7 months ago.
People also, and it's funny because at the time, I didn't like this one. I thought it was a stupid idea. But the disgusting jelly beans one, people actually really liked that.
We ate the bad jelly beans.
They were
the
so
Lily Tino thing was
gross.
my idea, right?
No, off. That was my idea.
To watch her OnlyFans?
That was 100% my idea.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm going to take credit for it.
Okay. Well, anyway, become a channel member. Clarkson's therapy is expensive.
That was so gay when I said that. I'm going to take credit for it. Like my octaves went up.
Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, like all of that. And we'll be back with more real soon.
Yeah, we'll see you later.